Holy shit! Where did you find?
What a surprise! I've gone and done it again. When I swore the
Welcome to another episode of Disaster Promos.
Woo! Cheers!
Here.
Today we are interviewing the band Scatterbrains. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on, man.
So first question we're going to start off with, going right into it. Why don't you guys tell us your names and what instrument you do, starting over at Matt.
Well, you know my name now. It's been revealed. I am Matt. In the band Scatterbrains, I typically play guitar and do the lead vocals.
I'm Tom. I do guitars, lead guitars. I do a bit of backup vocals for Scatterbrains. Yeah, that's what I do, man. I do it terribly, but I try hard.
Nice. Nice.
Leaving me, I am Cam, and I do play the bass because Maddie wanted something else to do. The three of us got together and played guitar, and like, this sounds good, but one of us is gonna have to not do this and instead play bass. And now that's good.
Makes sense.
I'm not funky enough for bass. I couldn't do it.
Normally I would be the bass player because that's generally my forte, but for some reason the last 10 years it hasn't happened in any of the bands I've been in for whatever reason, but that's okay. You do what
Fight
you do.
the typecasting.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name Matty Basstron 2000?
Holy shit! Where did you find? That's hilarious that you even know about that. Yeah, you've been doing some research.
We had 20 minutes of A+ material before this started.
Disaster promotion does not get information.
That's right.
Okay, so if this was more of like that show where you go into Wikipedia and find out what's true and what isn't. If it was anything like that, I can correct you on that nickname, and that is close to what the nickname is, but not quite. It's M-Bass 2000tron. So where that comes from, my nickname originally started off as Matt Bass because there's just too many Matts around in the house that I'd been living at the time. But I was the guy who was known for playing bass and like doing it fairly well, I guess, or some would say. So I got that first, and then I don't know. I've always been kind of like a jittery sort of dude. And like I had this weird obsession with robots, and somehow that turned into M-Bass 2000tron, and that became my nickname for the funk metal band that I was in for a little while. So that's essentially where it came from. Like we just had these weird nicknames in our band because we're strange. So, but
what's up, guys? What got you guys into starting to play music? Tom, I'll start with you, buddy.
When I was coming up, it wasn't always the best of times when I was a kiddo, and I just used music as escapism, and that's really, I picked up a guitar, and my brother, actually, God bless him, he's one of the best dudes I know. He bought me a Godin Freeway Classic, a 6-string, and a little Roland Cube 30 amp, and was just like, man, you do what you need to do with that. And I never looked back. I play that guitar still every day. Had it for 15 years, and yeah, it was the start of my journey, just trying to get away from what was going on in my life. And it's taken me all kinds of crazy places, and here we are.
That's awesome. Music is like so amazing that it can do that, and it has that effect on people where
it's healing, man. It's healing. You can come from you can have a bomb go off in your life, like a nuclear explosion, and you can just like escape into like music's the only art form that you can escape so deep that you can escape, leave yourself and leave your body to heal while your spirit's off, checking out music.
That's assuming the bomb doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
All right. Same question. Cam, you can go next, bud.
Yeah, that's put very well. I mean, I've always had kind of an interest, and same thing growing up, bounced around. My dad always made sure I at least had one instrument. There's a guitar, bass. He got me a keyboard once, just to keep things moving in the right direction as I'm trying to find my footing. And yeah, it was when we got to high school, the music I started at Elmville District High School the same year as Louis DeFave came in to take over the music program, and we
Louis.
made that place into he was a community legend, and deservedly so. He cultivated a lot of love for learning music, learning in general. Wouldn't have got through high school without him. And we all went to that high school, so we kind of crossed paths one way or another then or recently after. So as far as the beginnings go, yeah, it's definitely getting this through some stuff. As we're trying to figure ourselves out.
Nice. All right, Matt, you can finish that one up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that leads right into how these guys and I met. We met in high school. It's a long, sort of drawn out story, but the shortened version of it is that we all met in high school. We all knew Louis, who was our music teacher, and we kind of went in separate directions post high school. But there's a couple of things that we did together, like they had what was called the blues band in high school, and so Cam and I were, I guess, a part of that. And Tom came into the picture a little bit later after we sort of convened. I don't know, maybe 10 or so years later after that. But yeah, so how I got into music is I basically started on keyboard. I was put into piano lessons as a young child. I was about 4. And then I was given a guitar for Christmas around 10, started taking lessons. And then around 15 or so, I started picking up bass and drums around the same time. And yeah, never really looked back. So.
Nice. Well, you answered my next question. How did you guys form? Tie on to that, how did you guys come up with the name?
Well, you know what? There is actually kind of more to the story, but how we formed. If you want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Tie into that.
Matt took off is what happened. No,
yeah. Yeah, no, more or less. I went to BC for 8 years, and I had another band out there called Funk Vigilante. And while I was doing that, I was also writing songs on acoustic guitar at the same time. And really, the only intention I'd ever had of doing with those songs was maybe, say, performing at coffee houses or things like that. But then after moving back from BC,
well, I mean, even before that, yeah, you came.
Oh,
to
that's
visit
true. Yeah,
me,
that's
right?
true. Yeah.
You came to visit in 2010, and I got him to play. I had a little belt recorder because I was doing my own acoustic stuff. And I got him to play a few for me, like half a dozen songs. I'm like losing my mind. Like, are you kidding? This is so good. So that was, and around that time, I started playing with Tom with our like jazz guitar and just playing the two of us. And then when Maddie was moving back to town, I was like, oh man, we got to get into some of that stuff. And I find out Matt and Tom were talking independently, but hey, we should do some music when I'm back in town. I'm like, okay, well, that's settled.
Yeah.
So that was their way of ensuring you were the bass player.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So the songs, so I never really even had any intention for these songs to be band songs, but then these guys kind of, had their way, and here we are. So
awesome.
Yeah. And so as far as you want to know about the name, okay, yeah. So we actually went through a few different names before we settled on the one that we have, and I don't know. It's like some of the other names they were okay, but I didn't really like the way the way they sounded, or there's just like various reasons where we come up with a name, and then search the internet and find out like, oh, there's 7 other bands with that same band name, right? Which is probably something that every band goes through when trying to name a band. So this one was actually the name of the very first song that was written for this band, and after searching high and low to try to find a band name, started thinking about the name of the song, Scatterbrains. Like, that would probably work because our music is like, we're multi-genre. Like, we don't tend to stick to one thing, even though we have enough of a similar sound between the songs that you can tell it's us, I think, at least when you hear them, but the genres will differ. So it just kind of made sense. So it's like, we can use that name and never necessarily be pigeonholed into doing one thing.
Awesome. That's wicked.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. So obviously, as you guys said, your sound, you can't really get pigeonholed to one genre. Let's move on to how do you guys keep Scatterbrains going during these tough times with the pandemic and COVID and everything, because with the restrictions, obviously we all can't get together and stuff. How do you guys keep this band alive?
You know, I'll take this one.
All right, Dom.
We stay connected. We got a bunch of ways we connect. So we got like a group chat that we keep together in. We got a Discord server. We'll be working on little bits of music independently. Like I'll have a little piece that I'm like, hey, check this out. I'll flip it over to Matt. Matt will have a thing. He'll be like, guys, listen to this. So we're always still independently on our own trying to create, so that when we can get back together, which hopefully, knock on wood, that'll be soon, we all have stuff that we can bring to the table to start working on and get practicing.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool how much like technologies came these days, and how, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, this would not be a thing where we'd be like, oh yeah, like, hey Ryan, I wrote this riff, I'm gonna send it to you, or whatever, and vice versa.
If
we're talking about it with you guys,
we probably wouldn't have made it like as a band. Like it just would have fallen apart. Like if you had to take a year hiatus where you're not even allowed to see each other or like practice or rehearse,
you can't keep the ideas fresh. Like life gets in, and away you go.
For sure.
Technology's really just made this whole thing possible to keep going, and perseverance. Lesser men would have probably fallen apart, would have been like, forget it, let's just go, right? But like we all love what we're doing and we love each other, so
I'm excited for the day that we can. I'm excited for the day that we can jam over Skype when they get that going.
Yeah, when it's when you don't have the lag and you don't. Exactly. You don't have to fake it. The timing kind of worked out a little bit because we did most of the recording for the record we put out in October 2019, when my friend out west, Eric Hogg, came to town, stayed that for a week, and plowed most of this together. So a good portion of the original lockdown was like, editing and mastering, waiting on files, and trying to do digital art and stuff that didn't need a lot of hands-on weekly practice necessarily, because of course there's no shows either. So we were able to kind of sink our teeth into putting the thing out. The CD physically came out and started streaming beginning of December 4th, 2020. So it took the whole year to kind of figure it all out. So another way technology kind of kept us afloat.
That's awesome. It's like super easy too, because like you said, with the you're not losing the ideas. You can just kind of bounce them back and forth, and then you can kind of collab on them. It's really awesome how that's a thing. And obviously, I'm sure it's keeping so many bands afloat right now, because obviously not being able to actually physically be there, it's the next best thing, I guess. Moving right along, though, I'm going to combine these questions. It's going to be an individual question. You all get to answer it. Who's your favorite band or artist of all time? And then who's your favorite local band or artist, being anywhere in Ontario? Tom, we'll start with you, then Cam, and we'll finish out with Matt.
Honestly, I'm going to start with the local band. It's actually a band that Matt's in, and they're called My Hollow, which I think you guys are interviewing, actually. And those guys are dope. Like, they are next level. I can't stop listening to their stuff. They're in my favorite playlist. I just play that shit on repeat. It's nuts. They're really, really good. They're really good. There's a couple local bands that I like checking out, but they've all broken up because of the pandemic. Like the Newlands, Aaron Casey, they're not playing anymore.
Yeah, that was going to be on my short list. But
my favorite band overall. I really like. I'm really into that like pop rock type stuff. Like I like progressive stuff too. Like Coheed and Cambria is probably in my top 2, and then my next one's probably Mastodon. Nice. So I'm a really proggy, like rocky kind of background for me. But yeah.
I was like, here comes Clutch. No, okay.
I do love Clutch too. It's hard because I do love Clutch too. They got.
I can't pick. I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Man, that's hard. That's hard because you reminded me. That hasn't been in my rotation in a while. But yeah. No, I would definitely say like I'm more of a prog rock guy than I am of the like Clutch. That's Southern Texas rock. I'm more of a prog rock guy. I probably like Mastodon, Coheed, stuff like that.
This question always stumps everybody. Everyone's just
why did you What do you do?
It's hard, man.
All right, Cam.
I mean, I grew up on the Beatles, so I kind of have that, like, I don't know, that kind of vibe. I mean, give me a Wide Mouth Mason, Arkell's kind of thing. I think
Nice.
I like said the Whale, Mother's big for me. For their
Mother's unreal. I love them.
right, like just creativity. Like when they're
I saw
starting
them-
out, you're like, you can't just be the B-52s, but apparently you can.
Yeah. I saw them 3 years ago, and it's one of like in my top 5 shows for sure. Like it was
No
unreal.
doubt. Yeah.
Okay, so then your favorite local?
Local. Are Ostrich's Hypothesis still together? Because they're dope. I love them. What else? I'm sticking with that.
I'm pretty sure they are.
I love Ostriches. They're fantastic. Or Alpacas, but Ostrich's Hypothesis.
Oh, the alpacas, yes. Yeah, they're
Right?
great. Yeah, they're great.
Fun time.
Actually, it was, you know what? No one's supposed to know, but it was at an alpaca show where me and Dane actually met.
Huh.
Did they hold on? I'm gonna tie into this. Was it a monster truck show?
It was not. It was
USS?
a USS.
The
Okay, it was
USS
one of the
where
two.
he showed-
That's crazy.
that was a good show.
He's my dad, I guess. We kind of look like. Before I should.
you guess, you're not sure?
Not sure. Matt, favorite band or artist of all time, and then favorite local band.
Oh man, I'm sure this is kind of cliche, but that's a tough one. Being a musician and always listening to music, it's hard to pin it down to just one or two. But maybe I'll give you 3 big bands because it'll give you sort of broad perspective of what I'm into. So, Soilwork is the biggest one for metal. I'm a metal guy, but I love like Swedish, a lot of death metal and stuff like that. As far as other types of music goes, I really like Mr. Bungle because they go all over the place. Red Hot Chili Peppers for the funk stuff, and like anything that's like 70s funk and stuff like that, I'm right into. Like you name it, if they're a good band of that era, I'll probably enjoy it. So that's as far as big bands go. Locally, yeah, like we just started getting back into the scene before all this stuff happened. I didn't get to check out too many bands locally, which is kind of unfortunate. But some guys I can think of are A Particle Apart. I really like them. They're really tight.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, Cud Bear, they're really cool. Like doing the like, it's nice to see some younger guys like picking up the torch as far as like grunge. And actually, a story about those guys, Cud Bear. The bass player in that band is the son of my drama teacher from high school.
Was it not is he not the drummer? I thought was it the bass player?
No, it's the bass player.
Counterpart?
Yeah. Poland.
I literally like I was in her drama class while she was pregnant with him, and the unborn fetus released a CD before I did. Like, what the hell is going on?
God.
But it's definitely cool to see.
Yeah.
All right.
And not to suck up, a Wormhouse is sounding pretty good too, buddy. Check out some of those tracks.
I don't know who that band is.
Oh, well, okay. Check them out.
I'm gonna check them out. I heard their guitar player's a bunch of dicks, but it's okay.
That's the rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
I will speak on behalf of guitar players everywhere. We can be dicks.
Thank you, Tom.
So before we get into the speed round, I have one specific question for Matt. It's actually more of a request.
Sure.
Can I have you say the word dome?
Dome? I said it wrong. The way you're actually supposed to pronounce it is thusly.
Oh my god.
It was the best thing ever.
No, it's a cult, and once you join the cult, every time that specific word comes up, you have to say it for as long as you can possibly hold your breath.
That's wild.
That's it.
I don't know how
That's the whole
we
cult.
found that out.
I have no idea. Like,
I just make up this stuff right now. I have no idea about anything.
I actually thought that was another one of those weird, obscure things that you managed to research, like stuff that I've forgotten about pretty much. Like,
I didn't get that one for me. That was intense, though.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you want to be a cult, part of the cult of the people of that word, every time you say that word, you have to say it for that long. Yeah.
All right. So first, I'd like to start the speed round off by saying it is sponsored by, non-officially, Smirnoff Ice Glass.
Oh, I have one of those.
Oh, that's what you should be drinking because that's what.
I have to say, like, they don't last in the house, unfortunately.
Be careful,
There are
be
none
careful,
left.
Matt.
They are a
Be
popular
careful,
choice,
Matt. If
so.
you leave the one spot in your house that actually has Wi-Fi, you'll never
Oh,
get
no,
to
they'll
drink
make
again.
you do this again.
That's right. No, I've got the drink. We're good.
All right, so we know what Matt's drinking
Wi-Fi.
tonight.
Take me
sorry,
for a
to
tour of
Dane-
my house in the meantime.
Dano,
Matt's actually dragging an Ethernet cable with him right now.
I totally
Yeah,
agree.
look how big it is. Look how big it is.
Oh my god, dude, that's like a Cat 2500.
Oh yeah, baby.
Dano is drinking the classic hipster beer because I'm a hipster douchebag.
That Pilsner.
Oh yeah.
I call that the Fox Special.
Don't say that. That might be a question.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
You're not wearing thick glasses. How thick are your glasses?
I'll put my glasses back on for you. Let's go.
Oh, nice. Yep.
I
Sure,
hope
it's
I've
a
either
decent-
done all of this or none of it. I don't know. I got the Johnny Walker Gold label going on.
We're gonna start off with an easy question, just lightly.
Do it.
So, never have I ever played a show at the Fox Lounge.
And you drink if you have done it. Well,
Okay.
it's a softball.
Drink you ha-
Cheers.
Oh, that's not the sport. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or who hasn't? It's one of the best bars I've ever been to.
I haven't, so fuck you guys.
It's an honest man. It is a sin what happened to Shane in that bar. This pandemic, fuck this pandemic.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully you can do something once it's all settled out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens
And
when the sun
that was
starts to
like-
rise, right?
My heart broke when I heard when he made that post on
Just that,
Facebook
yeah.
and
It was
Instagram that he was gonna have to shut that place down. My heart broke. That's honestly the first gig I ever played was at the Fox. That place went back over when it was next to the Roxy Theater.
Yeah, that's where I played it.
Man, it's Shane's the shit. That place is the shit. Like you could go in there and be like, hey man, this is my band. We've actually never played together before. Can we get up on stage? And Shane's like, fuck yeah, you can. Get on up there, man. Like it was the best, man. That place was just so full of love. Everybody was so full of love there.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is supposed to be the speed round.
I know. It's all right. It's how it always goes.
Hey, he brought up the Fox. It's on him.
Well, we got that one out of the way. Let's rush through the rest of them. So, never have I ever painted my nails.
Myself?
Oh,
Okay. I have not.
Yeah, I was a little goth kid.
Me
all
too.
right. We're gonna
You
speed it.
designed,
We're
you
gonna
designed these questions to get me drunk, haven't you?
Yes.
never have I ever played in a battle of the bands.
Oh,
Never have I ever crowd surfed.
Oh man.
Never have I ever had a song on the radio.
Nope.
Never have I ever played a show in another country.
Thank God.
Ooh, haven't done that yet.
Tom.
I
Abbreviate.
played solo gigs in the States throughout most of my 20s.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Never have I ever spent time with Dane's mom.
I'm gonna drink twice. I spent
Matt.
a long time with Dane's mom.
And here's the last one. Never have I ever broken a string or drumstick on stage.
Oh, I hate that.
Never done
And
that.
there we
I've
go.
never done that. I've never broke a string on stage. Never.
This is the
gotta
first
get-
speed
you gotta
round
get
of
that-
taking the whole drink.
Man,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
get that. You gotta get that.
Not
that
a bass
pitch
string.
sensitivity.
Mom, I need a beer now.
Previous
I
band
figured Dad
guitar.
appreciates you talking to your mom like that.
Mom.
Yeah.
All right, that concludes the speed round. So now I'm going to pass it back over to Dane, and he will ask you guys some questions.
All right.
All right.
I got 3 left, so I'm going to mix it up a bit. Matt, you can start it off. So what
Sure.
does the world have in store for Scatterbrains in 2021?
Oh, pet my kitty a lot. I don't know, man. I'm really hoping that things can go back to normal. We can get out there and get on some stages and promote this record. I mean, if that doesn't happen, barring that, like we do have some plans to make another music video. We made one on our own, but we got some other ideas coming. So yeah, we'll be around. We'll be out there pumping our album and working on some new material in the meantime. And yeah,
Awesome. All right, Tom, you can have the next one. When the world goes back to normal, and I feel like we're kind of on the right track, things are going really good. Let's keep it going. But when the world goes back to normal and we're allowed to play shows again, and Scatterbrains is playing a show, what's one band you want to play with? Sorry, two bands. One band that's kind of like your guys' dream band, that if like you could open for this band, it would be them, and then one like kind of localish band that you'd want there because they're your homies or whatnot.
Oh man, honestly, like I'd like to open. Yeah, that's such a hard question.
I know, I love it.
You throw Matt the underhand. You know what? Like honestly, like I
my
would
mom.
say- I do know your mom. That's true. That's true, guys. I know his mom.
why?
Well,
Why?
No one will tell. You know what? Honestly, like I've seen like as Matt was saying, Cudbear. I would love to open for the Newlands. Those guys were so much fun when they were together, but they broke up. So like being that but the Newlands, I'm gonna go with the Newlands. If you're out there, guys, wherever you are, I'm giving you a shout out. Get your shit back together. Have us come play with us. I would love to open us as a band, hit a stage and open up for the new Rage Against the Machine tour that's coming.
Profits? Wait, no, it's the actual Rage Against the Machine, right?
actual rage.
Yeah. Oh, actual. I want
Okay,
It's a rage.
Interesting.
I have one request.
Tom Morello. Call Tom Elliott. We got
Tom, can I be Guitar Tech?
Yeah.
You're right.
Hired.
Yeah.
You've seen it here first.
I hope your guitar stays in tune.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, don't play that
Can you
Gibson.
keep
then.
can you keep a Gibson's G string in tune? 'Cause
He is a
if you
mere
do that,
mortal
then I
man.
forever.
if you can do that, you're hired, man.
Okay, I got you. We won't bring Deb though, okay?
Oh.
Okay. Last question. Cam,
Mm-hmm.
anyone watching this video, if you could tell
Yep.
anybody watching this just give them one track. If anyone's never heard Scatterbrains before until now, what would you basically like? This is the best representation
Let me
of
check.
Scatterbrains.
Let me just check. Scatterbrains, Show Me a Unicorn is right here. I'm looking at the track list. Show Me a Unicorn, the title of the CD, is based on a lyric in the song The Derelict. So I'm going to say The Derelict, but as Matt alluded to before, there isn't really one thing that you can really hammer in to define it. But a lot of the time that I've heard a couple people say when they're showing their friends and I'm not involved, they say, "Oh, throw The Derelict on." Like, okay, that's probably it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I would say too. I agree.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a bit of an epic track. It's one of our longer ones, and there's a lot going on in it. It goes from like silly and goofy to being kind of emotional and heavy by the end of it.
But that's
so, yeah,
the range, right?
That is a good one. So yeah, that's true. That's true. It does. Yeah, I would say that.
And leave it on for the next one. My God. But
Yeah.
Smithereens
that's a
is
good
be a
choice.
favorite, but
This album-
because it has the featuring, everyone's gonna wonder where the other vocalist is, right? So
This album's really like you got to listen from track 1 all the way through to the end. It tells a story as it goes. So if anyone's going to check us out on Spotify, just listen to the whole thing. Give us the half hour of your time.
What else are you doing? Tom's muted.
Tom, you muted yourself there. But I believe you were going to say that we wouldn't be disappointed.
No, you won't be disappointed. I don't think. I don't know. Like
I got a lot of universally positive feedback. I mean, from people that would tell me it was good whether it was or not, but there was a lot of like genuine kind of vibe going. Where
Yeah,
the word
honestly-
actually was used a lot, so I really
My
think they
my
meant.
friends suck. They tell me if it was shit.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right, that wraps us up here. On behalf of Ryan and myself of Disaster Promos, we want to thank Scatterbrains. Matt, Tom, Cam, thank you guys so much for coming out. We had a blast with you dudes. For anyone who hasn't checked them out, like they said, don't listen to one track, go listen to the whole story of Scatterbrains.
Look with your eyes, but don't you judge a man until you've walked at least a mile in his shoes. Behind every smile, you'll find a piece of him. Never underestimate the amount you stand to lose. Oh! If you can catch me, it's gonna spend my whole life run away.
Excellent.